Welcome to WEFM's 3 p.m. news. I am your presenter, Jessica Klein. First on the local scene. The tradition of whaling in Bequia has been secured for the next 6 years, according to an announcement made by Director of Grenadines Affairs and Whaling Commissioner for SPG, Edwin Snag. Currently attending the International Whaling Commission's IWC meeting in Peru, Snag revealed that a quota of 4 whales annually has been approved for Bequia whalers. This decision enables St. Vincent and the Grenadines to maintain its cultural practices while complying with international conservation standards. The agreement is a result of extensive negotiations and highlights the IWC's dedication to safeguard indigenous cultures and traditions through regulations for Aboriginal subsistence whaling. Snag expressed his contentment with the outcome, noting that the whaling tradition is deeply embedded in the culture of the people of Bequia. Although the Bequia whaling industry is small, it has long been acknowledged for its cultural significance, operating under strict quotas and regulations that protect whale populations while honoring the island's heritage. A release from the Agency for Public Information, API, states the established quota will enable whalers to continue their work in harmony with international conservation principles for the next 6 years. Ongoing discussions will take place with international organizations to enhance the balance between cultural heritage and environmental responsibility. St. Vincent and the Grenadines triumphed over the home team St. Lucia with a score of 56-45, achieving their fourth victory in as many matches on the evening of September 25th at the Beau Séjour indoor facility. In the opening quarter, St. Lucia led with a score of 9-8, but the Vinci Jewels surged ahead in the second quarter, finishing at 22-21. Coach Natasha Baptiste brought Captain Kamisha Antoine into the game during the second half, which energized the Vincentian strategy. Despite some mistakes, the Vinci Jewels dominated the third quarter, leading 41-31. St. Lucia fought hard in the fourth quarter, but the Vinci Jewels maintained their advantage, winning 56-45 and securing the top spot in the 2024 ECCB International Netball Series standings. Marianne Frederick excelled with 47 goals out of 49 attempts, while Christiana Christopher contributed 9 goals from 9 attempts. Both players represent the same club Exceed in the national competitions of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, leading to a strong rapport between them. Kamisha Antoine, who entered the game in the second half, also made a significant impact, with Christiana noting, "She made my job a lot easier." Still on the local scene, Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation and Culture Carlos James has said that the government is aiming to relaunch the wedding destination campaign of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Speaking at the press conference to celebrate the inaugural JetBlue flight to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, held at the NIS conference room yesterday, 25th September 2024, the minister said the previous process of getting married in SPG was one of the most tedious tasks for visitors coming into the country. Minister James said the government has since assessed ways to make the process easier and accessible for persons who travel to SPG for destination weddings by decentralizing some of the services involved within the process. Persons are now able to visit the gov.vc website to access, register, and pay for all services included for a destination wedding without the need for extra travels. We hear more from the Minister of Tourism, Carlos James.
So we simply made arrangements to move all of those the processes remotely. So any visitor to the destination can stay in an apartment or a house in London, or driving in a taxi to the airport, or in Las Vegas or New York, for that matter. Go onto a website from their phone, their mobile device or tablet, simply log in to our gov.vc site, and where there's a special page available and accessible for persons to now access this information remotely register for a destination wedding to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and pay for those services remotely via the World Wide Web.
The minister also highlighted that this is one of the first government services which is remotely accessible and remotely payable.
The only place they have to leave from their hotel rooms is to the wedding chapel on the beach, or if it's an all-inclusive, within the confines of the all-inclusive. So we have completely removed the process of going to a registrar or an attorney general's chambers for a signature or a stamp, and we've completely removed, in some cases, going to a revenue office in the Grenadines. This is now accessible remotely. The payment process can take place remotely. In fact, it's one of the very first government services in St. Vincent and the Grenadines where you can actually pay for a government service online.
Minister James highlighted positive feedbacks from visitors who are keen on coming to SVG for weddings and honeymoons, while noting that this service, which has been in the testing phase, is now ready for rollout in the coming year to global source markets. On the regional scene, Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, is among several world leaders who endorsed a political declaration aimed at raising national and global awareness to combat antimicrobial resistance, AMR, a major cause of death worldwide. Leaders are said to be working to identify gaps and invest in sustainable solutions that will strengthen and accelerate progress across multiple sectors through a One Health approach. Motley discussed the importance of the declaration on the sidelines of the ongoing United Nations General Assembly in New York during a high-level meeting titled Sustainable Access to Effective Antibiotics, the Path from Hunger to Impact. According to the Barbadian Prime Minister, the declaration, with the aim to reduce deaths by at least 10% by 2030 and decrease antibiotic use in both livestock and plants, is scheduled for debate today, Thursday, 26 September 2024. Motley expressed concern over the increase in deaths due to antimicrobial resistance and noted that predictions indicate it could become the number one killer by 2050. As co-chair of the One Health Quadripartite Global Leaders Group, Motley stated her moral obligation to address the risk associated with excessive reliance on antibiotics. She highlighted that AMR represents a slow-motion silent pandemic and expressed optimism that the declaration could enhance global public awareness regarding the severity of this issue. The Prime Minister pointed out that nations are grappling with various global challenges that threaten their survival, urging governments to reassess their strategies to avert future pandemics. Still on the regional scene, residents of Monkey Town, Cicero, and St. Lucia are calling for urgent infrastructural redevelopment in their community. Home to St. Lucia's sprinting star, Julian Alfred, the locals have raised concerns about the declining state of the road network for several years. As the area is projected to become a tourist destination due to Alfred's recent achievements, including a gold medal in the 100 meters and silver in the 200 meters at the 2024 Paris Olympics, the demand for road repairs has intensified. While they celebrate Julian Alfred's accomplishments, residents express their frustration and disappointment over the poor infrastructure in the athlete's hometown. They noted that a vehicle transporting Alfred was unable to approach her family home due to the inadequate road conditions in the past. One community member shared with St. Lucia Times that the roads have remained unchanged since Julian Alfred was a child. With the government of St. Lucia declaring 2024 as the year of infrastructure, residents are hopeful that sports will serve as a catalyst for development. Finally, on the international scene, 2 giant pandas will be sent back to China 8 years earlier than planned, as the Atari Zoo in Finland has stated that they can no longer afford their care. The pandas, named Lumi and Pyri, arrived in Finland in 2018 following an agreement between the two nations aimed at protecting these animals. Originally, the plan for the pandas to reside in Finland for 15 years, but due to the inflation and financial challenges stemming from the COVID-19 pandemic, they will be leaving in November. The Atari Zoo revealed that it spends £1.5 million annually on their care, in addition to over $1.8 million on their enclosure. Marco Habakoski, the curator at the Atari Zoo, noted that the costs for the pandas exceeded the combined expenses for all other species at the zoo. This expenditure includes a dedicated keeper to be with them at all times, a preservation fee to China, and imported bamboo. Another significant factor in this decision to return the pandas was the Finnish government's refusal to provide state funding last year. This has been WEFM's 3 p.m. news. I have been your presenter, Jessica Klein. Join us again at 5:30 p.m. for WEFM's evening news, and we thank you for listening.